most people, they want to build themselves financially. But obviously, if you're not personally secure with yourself and don't believe that you deserve to make money, you deserve to have successes and riches in your life, it doesn't matter how many lessons you take in investment and how much money you save, you're going to blow it.
And you know, if your spiritual balance isn't there, your spiritual headspace isn't there, your spiritual belief isn't there, we're not talking dogma or religion, we're talking about a sense of self-worth. If that's not there, all the other lessons that you write about, that I might talk about, will get lost. And Julie, this is really your bailiwick.
Well, you know, it's so true, because if you don't feel worthy to have, then what I like to call the universal yes machine that exists out there.
I like that.
And I said yes machine.
It's not going to say yes to you. You know, there was a book. There was a book written in the 1800s that said, if a penny is dropped in the street and you walk by it, you're saying no to the universe for money.
I always take it up.
Always pick it up. Always say yes.
Yes.
And you know, the same is true. And is with our diet. You know, I lost 121 pounds since April of 2007. And
it's more than Silva.
Yes, actually it is.
And it started with my doctor saying to me, I'm giving you 3 months to get your blood sugar and blood pressure to normal. And I didn't think diet. I thought, I got to get healthy. And I changed not how and what I ate, but literally my relationship to food, my relationship to activity, and exactly how I thought, and my emotional well-being, because I realized that I ate for every single emotion that I had. It was my drug of choice.
Yeah.
And you know, and the same is true with money. I could spend for every reason in the world. And I needed not to substitute spending for food, because shopping can become a retail therapy. Ladies can become a real nice substitute.
I guess that's like a lot.
We can all relate to that one, ladies.
And so it's coming back to not just do I need it or do I want it or can I afford it, but do I want to afford this now? And saying no isn't closing a door. It's simply saying not now.
So you can still have cupcake. It's just not right now.
Exactly, moderation, and I guess that's what comes into play also. You know, with the thought generated the emotion, and it forced you, or it led you to taking the actions of overeating. That sort of filled up a gap, a hole, a void in your life with the food, and then you saw what the results were.
Exactly, and
you had to replace.
And now I have nothing but size zeros in my closet. And lovely new clothes that, you know, and actually I've given away everything. And it was so wonderful because true confessions, I went from a triple D down to a B. Oh my God.
Ooh.
But I wanted to get rid of my old lingerie. And just at the moment that I put it all into a bag, I got a phone call from Helping Hands of the Blind. Do you know that they accept lingerie?
Really?
Yes.
No, many people do.
Isn't that wonderful? Helping Hands of the Blind. So I was able to give away and help somebody instead of putting in the recycle bin. Yeah. And it's not, you know, necessarily, but when we keep, what ends up happening, when we keep and we hold on to those things that give us permission to participate in old behaviors, like when we keep the credit cards with the big limits and we don't cut them up, we give ourselves permission to charge again. And it's the same thing. I don't bring chips into my house.
You mean like potato chips?
Yes, like potato chips
and things like that.
Yeah, right. Because I'll do this.
Permission.
And I give myself permission to do it. Now,
it's interesting.
Where's willpower? Where's willpower?
Well, some of us have to admit when we don't have willpower for certain things.
No. So that would be the balance.
So,
some things are really strong, other things are really vulnerable.
And we have to find that balance, and we have to admit, I mean, seriously, we have to admit to ourselves where we have that strength and where we need help. And if we need help, I don't walk down the chip aisle at Trader Joe's, okay? I confess, I just don't do it. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that when I go to a party, I don't have a small amount. I just don't bring it in the home anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the same thing as once you acknowledge what the situation is, you accept responsibility, you got yourself into that situation, and now you've made a commitment that you want to fix it, you want to repair it because that doesn't work for you anymore. And these are the things that you became aware of, and you want to put it out of your life.
And
so
I will
you
never yo-yo
going,
again.
And now you're happy with your life. So it's the same thing, when it comes to investment.
In fact, we even call it yo-yo budgeting. People will stick with their budget, they'll get their credit cards down. Now, how do they get them down? It can be a number of ways. Oftentimes, they love to put extra money and give it to the government, which is 0% interest. I call it being too patriotic. And so they'll wait for that check to come in, pay off their credit cards. They're good for about 2 weeks. And then, of course, there are the New Year's sales, or it's the Memorial Day sale, or it's our great nieces, or our second cousin, or you name it, a reason to go charge. And like you said, if they've got the high limit credit cards, they will be used. So really recognizing some things you're very strong and brave and already empowered, and other areas you're not. And this is where Silva, your expertise really comes in helping women to use your tier and jumpstart and all of these other mechanisms that you have to really start to grab hold of your life, recognizing our vulnerabilities, and then having some how-to. What do I do next to help in my case finance or spiritual or overall well-being?